Hi, everyone. I hope you're all well, safe, and healthy. Thank you for joining us today for our session. All you need to know about the digital SAT. Today we have a representative from College Board here with us for the test. A little bit about me. My name is Zain Ali. I'm an Education USA advisor with the Islamabad office in Pakistan. In today's session, you will learn more about the digital SAT, what's changing, how's it going on moving forth. Before we start, a little bit about who we are. Education USA is a global network under the US Department of State, made up of over 425 international student advising centers in more than 175 countries. We are your official source to US higher education through Education USA advisors, working with advisees to provide updated, comprehensive, and unbiased information on higher education in the United States. In Pakistan, we're a part of United States Educational Foundation, USEFP, which is also the Fulbright Commission in the country. USEFP promotes mutual understanding between the people of Pakistan and the people of United States through educational cultural exchange. We have offices in Islamabad, Lahore, and Karachi, but we're also available for any student that needs support advising throughout Pakistan through email or call. Our advising services are completely free of cost. Other than advising, USEFP also has programs department that administers multiple fully funded programs, including the Fulbright Scholarship. And for all of this, I would urge you to visit our two websites, uscfp.org and educationusa.pk. I am now going to hand over the session to Ms. Minakshi from College Board, and she can start off.
Thank you so much, Zain. Welcome everyone to the session on digital SAT. So we'll get to know all about digital SAT, how to do the test, what are the test specifications, why is SAT still important today, and also about the different kinds of people from all over the countries. What do they talk about digital SAT, and how do they feel it was easier than the paper and pencil test? So while we go forward, this is a small agenda that we'll talk about today. So SAT suite of assessments, digital SAT deep dive, and preparing for the SAT. I hope everyone knows that SAT is owned and administered by the College Board. We are almost 100 years old organization, and we serve about 7 million students every year across 185 countries and territories through various programs, and SAT is one of them. Let's talk about the SAT suite of assessments. I understand all of you might be in grade 11 or 12 or older than that. So SAT actually starts from grade 8, 9, which is called as the PSAT. If many of you have done it, then great. And from PSAT, you advance to the SAT, which connects students to college and which tells the college how ready are you for entering into college? How good are your verbal skills? How good are your written skills? How good are your comprehensive skills, the logical skills? So what exactly is the SAT? Let's see that. So SAT measures basically your reading, writing, and math skills. This is nothing out of whatever you are doing currently also in the school. So we always tell our students and we always guide them that there is no need to go in for an extra coaching for SAT. Prepare well, do whatever you're doing in your school very well, understand the logical and the comprehension skills from your teachers, from your school teacher and your USA advisors too, and refer to certain books and practice resources from the College Board side or the Khan Academy, and I'll come to it at the end of my presentation. So basically, reading, writing, and math skills is what you need to understand for writing the SAT exam. And this is a part of a system to ensure that students are ready for a university. So millions of students globally take the SAT each year on their path to university. And why do they take it? Because it's easier for students to show their work. It is easier for them to show through SAT that they have got this good skill set of logic and comprehension. And when they enter the college or university, they will try to understand all what is being taught there. So that's the basic assumption. So it's divided into reading, writing, and math section. There are 2 modules. It will be measured on a scale of 1600. So 200 to 800 points will be there for your reading and writing section. Again, 200 to 800 points will be there for your math section. As we go along, Please keep writing your questions on the chat box and we'll take them in the end. This is important because we all want you to understand more and more about SAT, first of all, digital SAT, why is it important? So in any questions you have in your mind, please keep writing down and we'll take them in the end. So what exactly, why is SAT still important? We have all gone through, and I was talking to the EdUSA advisors right now, and we all know that there are certain universities who have gone test optional. They write on their websites that they are test optional, certain write on the university website that they are test blind. But why exactly is SAT still important? So let's consider the role of assessments within holistic admissions framework. What do the applications, the university admission officers look at on the applications when you send them one? There are certain personal qualities. So they look at what is your personal statement like, your LOR, what kind of extracurricular activities you have done, of course, your interview as well. Then they also look at the environmental context. What exactly was the family environment? How many resources did you have when you were preparing for your grade 12 exam? What exactly is a school profile? So you send all these things along with your application. They also look at which curriculum are you from? Was it a rigorous curriculum? Was it a very local curriculum? Or did you do any such kind of an exam called as an advanced placement or any other advanced course for that matter? So they look at these, and then they look at your academic accomplishments. So when we talk about academic accomplishments, your secondary school grades are topmost, of course. You should not, take it lightly. So grade 12 exams are topmost, and then comes the standardized test scores. Example, the SAT. There are various other standardized tests as well, and your English language scores. So standardized tests like SAT still play a very important role. When a university says they are test optional, and they started at the time of COVID, many of the universities have gone back now, and they've gone back to the era where they are openly saying they are accepting SAT not only for admissions, also for scholarships. And that's very important term, scholarships. So when they say that they are test optional, I always recommend students, please write the SAT, not only because I'm in College Board, but prior to that also, I was also telling the students that please take the SAT because test optional means they will still look at the scores if you send them the scores. They will not avoid looking at the scores. So please write the SAT in case a university says they are test optional. Of course, if a university says they are test blind, then you don't have to, but there are very few of them. Many of them only say optional, which means if your peer is showing the test scores, and if you're not, then you are not in a good position. The peer will be at an advantageous position. So that's the reason the role of assessment is still there. The role of SAT is still there. Also, we took a small survey for students during the COVID period also. 83% of the students from international countries, not just Pakistan, but from the international countries, around 157 countries there were, they said they still want to write the SAT because they want to show themselves as an edge over the others. So almost from 70 countries across the globe, students want to take the SAT and they want to send it to the universities in almost 70 countries across the globe. And this is very important, the curriculum standards. When we speak about curriculum standards, every country has a different one. Even in South Asia, it's different for India, different for Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, everybody. And when the students from all these countries are sending their applications with the grades, how would a university officer know which curriculum is the best? How would they know that is 95 percentile of a CBS in India much better than 80 percentile or the 98 percentile of Pakistan or Sri Lanka or Bangladesh? So SAT is a common framework that binds all the students together. So if the students will show an SAT score on their application, they would know that, okay, this is a standardized test. And that's why it's called as a standardized test, that all the students can take it and the admission officer can just refer to the scores of this particular test, which is common for everybody. So nearly 90% of international students in the class of 2020 had SAT scores that even confirmed and even at times exceeded their secondary school GPA. So those students were at an advantage because even if the grade 12 score was not too great, if the SAT score was good enough, it helped them in university admission and scholarships both. So when I talk about scholarships, it's not in the slide in the front of me, but when I talk about scholarships, I know that it's about $45,000 per annum that a good, reasonably decent US university has a fee structure. That any middle-class person, if they want to go to a US university, how they fund themselves. So scholarships are an important mode. And how do universities grant scholarships? Because besides the other circumstances, besides the other criterias in the portfolio, SAT score is one of them. When they see the score, it adds on to the advantage of providing a scholarship. So most colleges and universities in the US, 450 plus universities in nearly 70 other countries or regions report they accept the SAT for admissions or scholarships. So this is a great advantage. You write one test and you can apply to many universities together. You do not have to give different entrance exams for all those universities. So let's dive into the digital SAT. What exactly is that? Why is there so much noise about SAT going digital? So what's staying the same? Let's take that first. So the digital SAT will still continue to measure the knowledge and skills. It will still continue to measure the skill set, the logical framework that matters most for university and career readiness. There is no major drastic change on that front. It will still be scored on a scale of 1600, same as what was the paper and pencil exam. And even if it is digital, it does not mean you can take it from home. You still have to go to a school or a test center, and the test will be administered there with a human proctor present and not at home on a computer with a proctor which is on a computer. So you have to go to a test center and you have to take your laptops along with you. So we'll come to that also, what all devices are allowed in a digital exam. So you can take your laptops, you can take your iPads, you can take your, any Chrome managed device, which has been approved by College Board. How many hours is the test for? It's for 2 hours now. And how many times can you take a test in a year? You can take the SAT is administered. It was earlier administered 7 times a year, but from 2023, SAT will now be administered 7 times a year. Earlier, it was 5 times a year. And 2 more admins have been added, which is the June and the November admin. And let me tell you, for March admin also, we have seen it's very encouraging, and we have seen a lot of applications from the students of Pakistan who have come forward and who are writing the SAT and sending their scores to the universities. So students will take the SAT suite of assessments on a laptop or a tablet. It will be shorter. It will be 2 hours instead of 3, and it will be administered 7 times in a year. And one of the best part is it is more secure and flexible. Now, what does that mean? Secure and flexible means everybody will get a different test form. So if you're sitting in a classroom with about 20 students, 30 students, everybody has a different question in front of the screen. So if I have a question number 4, person on my right side would have the same question as question number 8 or 10 or whatever, and question number 4 might be absolutely different for that person. In fact, he may or he may not get my question number 4 at all on that paper. So everybody would have a different test form in front of the screen. So that's how it's more secure and it's more reliable now. Also, it decreases any chance of cheating by any student. So all the good students who really worked hard for their SAT tests, please be assured that everybody would have a unique form and there is no scope for any kind of cheating. So no bad characters now for the digital SAT. Calculators will be allowed on the entire math section. So you can get your own calculators. There's a list of calculators which are approved, and that's available on the College Board website. So either you can get your own calculators, or I'll show you a graphing calculator, which will be already available on the Bluebook app that you have to download. So calculators will be allowed in the entire math section. So we did small SAT pilots, 2022, at least 20-25 pilots were done round the year, so that we see that Students are absolutely accustomed to it. Students should not have a bad experience. They should have a very good experience of the digital SAT. So we did as many pilots as possible across the world. And over 35,000 students in the US and 75 other countries, they participated in the digital SAT pilot. I have a small video, we'll run it in the end. But for now, 88% of the students rated their experience as excellent or good. 98% felt that the testing application was very easy to use. And 95% students indicated they feel comfortable testing on their own digital device, because that's the device students have been used to while they were preparing for the test. So when they take the same device to the test center, they feel very comfortable using it. They don't have to sit on a PC or any other machine of a test center and then start doing it. And any questions till now? I see there are 8 questions, but I can't read the questions. So if you want me to take up the questions now, I can. Otherwise, we'll take them in the end.
We can go on with the session and do the questions towards the end.
Excellent. So let's talk about test specifications and features. While we know that reading and writing will be one module and math will be another module, but how many questions are there? So we'll concentrate on the right side. There will be 54 total questions, that is one section, and 64 total minutes will be given to you. So 1 minute, 19 seconds per question will be given to you for every question. And there will be discrete questions. So when I say discrete questions, it really means that earlier there used to be many questions for a passage, and the passages were also very long. Now the passages will be very short, and you will either have 1 question per passage or maximum 2 questions for a pair of passages. So this is what discrete questions mean. And this is the total time frame and the number of questions that you would have in the reading and writing section. Let's see math now. Math will have 44 total questions, 1 section only, and the entire section, math calculator will be allowed. So either you can get your own or you will have a graphing calculator. Total minutes, there are 70 total minutes for the entire math section that you will get, and you have to finish that section in that time frame. Discrete questions, again, are there in the math section also, but with a difference. There will be multiple choice questions, but they are 4 option multiple choice questions, would be around 75% of the test. The rest would be student produced response, which means that you will have to do the calculations yourself, and then you'll have to write the answer on the box. And we'll just see that how do we do that. So this was all about test specifications for reading, writing section and for the math section. Let's explore a bit about the application to what exactly do we need to do on the test day. So as I said, you can take the test either on a laptop or a tablet or any managed Chromebook. And it's very important. We as College Board do not want any student to miss the access, to miss the test, just because the student doesn't have a required device for taking to the test center. So what we suggest is, if you do not have a device, ask your friends, ask your family, or ask your school, the school that you're studying in. If nobody can grant you a device, College Board is here. So you have to fill up an application requesting College Board that I need a device for the test day. And this should be done at least 30 days in advance before the test day, because once you fill up the application, College Board will ship the device to the test center. This is all free of cost. It is only meant for that test day and for the test. So once you receive the confirmation from College Board that yes, a device will be granted to you, you will have to go to the test day about 30 or 45 minutes well in advance to see that yes, everything is all right, and you can take the test on that device. And once the test is done, the device will remain in the test center and it will be shipped back to College Board. But yes, there is a facility. So for all the students who do not have a device, please understand, you can always request one either from your friends or from family or from the school. And if nothing works, then from College Board as well. Okay, for those who can get a device to the test center, the device should be able to hold a charge for 3 hours. So that should be, your working device. And it should also be a device that must be able to connect to Wi-Fi. Please understand that when you take the test device to your test center, the test center will give you the internet specifications, the Wi-Fi password, and you just have to mention the Wi-Fi password and start taking the test. So your device should be able to connect to the Wi-Fi. As a precaution, Even if the device has been charged for 3 hours, the device, you should take your, the charging device along with it, because the test centers have been advised that when a student is entering the test center, they should have plug points near to their desk so that in case required, they can plug in their device to the plug points and continue with the test. So we do not want any disruption in your test whatsoever. And there is a Bluebook app that you need to download. I'll come to it when we talk about the steps as well. But when students download the app, you'll be able to click through a demo and you can see how the entire test will flow. This is a very important question and very important point also for everybody to know, that what happens if students lose internet connectivity? What if power failure is there? What if device charging is stopped? What will happen to the test then? Nothing. Nothing happens to the test. It will stop where you did the last question. And once your connection is back, you can carry forward from there. Or when you plug in your device, if you had lost charging, you can continue from there. So nothing happens to the test. It will already be saved in the server. And most of it, you only require an internet connection while starting and while submitting or ending the test. In between, anything happens to it, you can still continue with the test whatsoever. All your work will be saved and you will not be losing any testing time. So this is very important because many students have this apprehension, and this is generally a question that I get. So I have included in my deck that you will not waste on your testing time in case anything happens to either the internet or the device charging facility itself. Okay, so this is how a test would look like, and many of you who have been into practicing many of the other tests, you would know how a digital test looks like. So there'll be section specific directions from any testing screen. You will get these module directions also once you start the module. There is also a break of about 10 minutes between the two sections. And when you go for a break, the testing time will stop there. It will not hamper your overall test. So this is a planned break. But besides this planned break, if you go on any other break, then your testing time will keep continuing. So you should know about it. So a timer will let you know when the next section would start. Of course, these are multiple questions in both your reading, writing, and math section. And like I said, in math section, there'll be certain questions that have student-produced responses as well. So this is how those student-produced response questions will look like. And this is the box where you will have to fill in your reply. There are also certain testing tools that are available in the Bluebook app. And this you can, once you do the practice also, you will get all these testing tools so that you are well accustomed to it. So there is a testing timer, there's a graphing calculator, a reference sheet, a mark for review, help, and many more things that are there. So like you see the screen in front of you, you can see there is an annotation tool as well. There is a zoom tool as well. And of course, help is always there. So for a testing timer, a timer at the top of the test, like you can see in the screen also, will show how much time is left or how much time have you already taken. And you can, generally adjust your test accordingly, your section modules accordingly then. This is a graphing calculator. So for all those who have done a good practice, you will feel very comfortable using the graphing calculator during the test. But I would also recommend people who cannot do enough practice on a graphing calculator, they should also take a calculator along with them during the test. But once you do a good practice, this is very, very easy to use. This is a reference sheet. When answering math questions, students can view commonly used formulas as well on the reference sheet in front of them. Mark for review, students can flag any questions they want to come back to later. So in case you feel that you are not very sure of question number 4 and you want to do it later, you can just flag it. And once you review all the questions that have been done or are incomplete, you will see the flag and you will come back to it. So a very easy, smooth flow of functions in the entire test. Of course, if you hit a snag, there is a help window. You can refer to it and you can see how to go ahead. There'll also be proctors in the room who will be either roaming around or they will be sitting at the desk. So you can always raise your hand and call the proctor in case there is any problem you face. There is also going to be a technical administrator in each testing facility. So in case there is a small tech issue, they can see to it as well. So all these things have been taken care by the College Board. This is just a summary of whatever we just discussed about the tools that are available in the app. There is a mark for review function, a test timer, a graphing calculator. And can you start the Bluebook video, the test video, the link that I gave, and I can opt out from here.
Yeah, you can stop sharing the screen and then I'll share my screen
Yes.
and do it.
Okay.
Get ready for the digital SAT. If you're taking the test on a weekend, here's how it'll work. Before test day, you'll download the Bluebook application onto an approved laptop or tablet. If you're testing on a school-managed device, you may need to ask someone at your school to complete this step for you. Before test day, open up Bluebook, sign in, and start practicing. You can explore the tools and features of the app and try a few sample questions in the test preview, or take a full-length practice test. The week of the test, you'll complete a quick exam setup to install the test on your device, and you'll get your admission ticket. You'll need this admission ticket on test day. You can take a picture of it, print it, or email it to yourself. Arrive on time on test day. Check your admission ticket for your arrival time and the address of your test center. Be sure to bring your fully charged device. It'll need to stay on for roughly 3 hours, so we recommend you bring a power cord or portable charger. You'll also need your admission ticket, a valid photo ID, and a pencil or pen. Scratch paper will be provided. The digital SAT has 2 sections, reading and writing, and math. It should take you just over 2 hours to complete, not including breaks. Each section of the test has 2 parts, called modules, and each module is timed separately. You can move back and forth between questions in a module and review your answers until time expires. The test, you'll have access to a set of tools. On all math questions, you'll find a reference sheet and a calculator. You can also bring an approved calculator. Use the annotation tool to highlight text or leave yourself a note. On multiple choice questions, if you think an answer option is wrong, you can cross it out. And you can mark for review any questions you want to come back to later. Zoom in and out using keyboard shortcuts on laptops or by pinching on tablets. If you have a problem during the test, click the help icon for troubleshooting tips. And you can always raise your hand to ask the proctor for help too. When the test is over, your answers will be submitted automatically. Wait until you see the congratulations screen to close your device. We're excited for you to take the digital SAT. Download the Bluebook app and start practicing today.
Thank you so much, Zain. Let me share my screen back. 1 second, please. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Excellent. So all the students, hope you enjoyed this slideshow, and this was just a recap of whatever has been discussed, but it always helps to see when you see it visually. All right, so the next topic that I'm going to touch upon is very important. It's preparing for the digital SAT. You know that the test is there, you know you want to take the test, but how do you prepare for the SAT now? The first step is to create a College Board account. If you haven't done so, I would strongly encourage you to do so. It is very simple. Just go on to collegeboard.org and set up an account there. Once you do that, you can also download the Bluebook app. So you have practice resources, various practice resources available at two places. One is on the College Board site, and the other is Khan Academy. All these resources are absolutely free of cost. So once you get ready with your, the reading section, the writing section, and the math section, just go on and take a test review. Full-length practice exams on the College Board website itself. There are 4 full-length practice exams, and there are many immense videos, articles, examples on what to expect from the digital SAT from Khan Academy. Like I said, they're all free of cost resources, and they both are connected. So if you create accounts on both, you can also sync them so that you know where your practice is leading you to. So this is one great resource to have. And besides this, there are various resources in terms of articles, videos, blogs on the College Board website. There are webinar recordings available on the College Board website also, where you can go and refer to. So practice tests on the Bluebook app. Once you download the Bluebook app from the College Board website, you will be able to take up the practice tests. And these are actual tests. They will have all the tools that would be there in your actual test. So retakes are permitted. Take them as many number of times you want to. The point is not that you want to cram the questions, because questions will not be the same anyways, but the point is to know the kind of a format that will come. See to it if you have understood a particular concept or not, because then you will get to know your improvement areas and you can go back to that. So suppose there is a question that involves algebra. You were always getting it wrong. So which means that algebra is a topic that you want to go back to and take it up and study it well, and then come back to the second practice test. So this is how you can, you prepare for the SAT. And the best place to review is to go to the My SAT on College Board website, and there you can review the practice test review and also the scores of your test. You will get to know, like I said, the improvement areas, the strength areas, even in your reading and writing section, which is the most common error that you're doing. Go back to that and study those things again. So this is how it's helpful. So download and install the Bluebook app. There are a few steps that I want you to note. First is once you download and install the Bluebook app, 2 weeks before the test day, take full-length practice test on the Bluebook app. 5 days before the test day, complete your exam setup in Bluebook and get your admission ticket. On test day, arrive on time and check your admission ticket, whether it's there or not. And for your reference, the only ID, photo ID, which is allowed in Pakistan is your passport. So you should have a valid passport, original passport with you, along with your admission ticket when you go to a test center. Without that, you will not be allowed to sit for a test. So please understand, a valid passport, original passport should be there in hard copy. No pictures would be allowed. There are 22 test centers in Pakistan, so you can register on the College Board site accordingly. Yeah, so like I was talking, there are 22 centers in Pakistan. There are many in Lahore, Islamabad, Faisalabad, Karachi, and also Punjab. So you can choose the test center accordingly, and you can go and register for the test. And any student from grade 9 to 12 can take the test. You can take the test any number of times, but we as College Board do not advise you to take the test many times because one, it is very expensive. There is no need to take the test so many times. Second, you should be well prepared while you're going and taking a test. Don't just go it for, just taking the test, but take it very responsibly and seriously. So prepare well and then register for the SAT, or you can do the vice versa. You can register for the SAT, but with certain months of preparation there, and then you can do a backward integration, prepare for the test, and then go and take the test. So these are some of the upcoming deadlines. March 11 is already gone. The deadline has already gone. So May 6th is the upcoming one, and then you have the 3rd June as well. So 21st April is the deadline for the 6th May test. And if you want a device request also, then I would strictly recommend you to go in for the registration as soon as possible so that your device request can also be taken care of well in time. And the 3rd June has a deadline of 19th May. So I'm sure your EdUSA advisors will guide you accordingly as to how to register the test and when, as per your, your local exams and your well-preparedness as well. Like I said, there are immense resources available on the College Board website. Plus, there are FAQs, webinar recordings, assessment framework, and many sample questions. So there are item-wise questions. There is a full-length paper we just saw that you can have an access to. So lots of resources. I would request everybody to go to the resource, create College Board account, download the Bluebook app, and refer to all those resources that are available free of cost to you. Zan, can you play this video? And after this, we can take up the questions as well.
Yes.
I'll stop sharing.
The digital SAT was a great experience. Everything from downloading the app to setting up our devices to actually give the SAT went really smoothly. I thought that I was a lot less stressed, mainly because the test was shorter.
My experience with the digital SAT was that it was super easy to take and it was very convenient, and I was definitely less stressed out. I would definitely recommend it because it took away a lot of the pressure.
It was easy to set up, easy to log in. The instructions were really clear.
I was actually very impressed by this test. I was very impressed how clean the program was.
The first thing I noticed was the software itself was seamless. I have not taken a better digital test. That's because there was no buffering between the questions.
Digitally is more convenient because you can easily switch between the questions, and all the tools are provided.
The tools at my disposal were very readily accessible and easy to use.
The reading chunks were a lot smaller, which made it easier for me to concentrate on what they were actually asking for and what the content actually was. So that was a lot more enjoyable.
It helped that today's SAT was much shorter and the questions were a lot more concise and straightforward. I liked it a lot better.
For me, taking the digital SAT was so much better. I can't even explain it. I was so happy to take the test.
Thank you, Zan, and I'm ready to take up any questions. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me very patiently. So any questions, Zan, please let me know.
Yes. Okay, so we have some questions are similar, so I'm going to start off with those. So we have two questions asking essentially the same thing, which is, do universities treat digital SATs the same as SATs taken non-digitally? This is
okay. Yes. So yes, universities are treating the SAT score of digital absolutely the same way they were taking the paper and pencil ones, because the format remains the same. Like I said, we are measuring it on the same scale, the difficulty level, everything is absolutely the same. So the importance to digital SAT is same as what it was for paper and pencil.
Another question is, which countries require the SAT exam? Like, we know it's important for the US, but are there any other countries where they're also looking?
Yes, so there are more than 40 countries around the world that accept the SAT scores. And for that, I will share the link on this chat, and I'll send it to Zain as well, and he can refer it to you later. But you can go on to the College Board website and see which all countries, which all universities are also accepting the SAT scores. So besides US, there are more than 45 countries that are accepting.
Someone's also asking how much time would they need to prepare for the SAT exam in your experience?
Okay, this is a very tricky question because I always say that it depends upon a person's own ability to to practice the test. But many students have shown that within 6 months they are very good and they can go and take a test.
Okay, and then this is an interesting question. Will SAT have the super score where the highest marks from each section across all previous tests will be chosen even after the changes are made to the SAT?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. If you could repeat it.
Yeah. Will SAT still have the super score
Yes.
where the highest marks from each section across all the previous tests will be chosen even after the changes are made to the SAT?
Yes. So the super score rule or any other rule of the SAT, everything remains the same. Nothing has changed. It's just the format or the means of the test that instead of paper, it's going digital, and instead of 3 hours, it's 2 hours and a couple of more changes. The rest of the things all remain the same.
Are the test centers assigned by College Board, or can candidates request specific centers?
So when you register for the SAT, you have to see the available seats on the College Board website. So wherever the available seats are there, you can request for that particular test center. And if you do not find any available seats, I saw the list today, and all 22 centers have seats available for May and June tests. But in case there is a problem, please get back to your Education USA people, and they'll come back to us, and we'll see what best we can do to it. But yes, to answer your question, you have the facility.
What is the fee for the new digital SAT?
So it's $103 as the base price, but there are 2 centers in Pakistan that charge a little extra. So when you register for the test, in case you have a preference of any of those 2 centers, then it will be $23 extra. Otherwise, the rest of the centers, it is $103.
Somebody's asking, I think, for people who still like to write stuff down, will we get a pencil and paper for doing math questions if they want to do scratch work, essentially?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So the sheets, blank sheets would be available in the test center. You can get your pens or pencils along. Many of the test centers would also keep it, but just as a precaution, you can take it along and you can scribble, you can do your calculation. And like I mentioned that there'll be certain questions where you have to have student produced responses. So for those sections and questions in particular in the math section, you have to write on the sheet, you have to create an answer and then put it up on the digital screen.
How long does it take to get your SAT results after the changes?
So for the students who will take the SAT test on March 11, they would get the results by 24th March. So effectively, it will take 2 weeks time to get your results. Within 2 weeks, you will have it.
Okay.
And it is much easier and much faster than what it was earlier, because earlier it used to take months for the students to send the scores or the universities to get the scores. But now in just about 13 days, you will get the scores.
After June 3rd, when will the SATs start? Will there be more SAT dates? And in which months will they start again?
So in total, there will be 7 admins in a year, March, May, August, June, August, October, November, and December. So after June 3rd, there will be another SAT, which will be on 26th August, and then, around October 1, and then the 2nd December. So if it's a Sunday, it will not be there, but any of the Saturdays, May, June, August, October, December.
So we have 2 questions that are similar. What's the composition of the reading and writing section? Essentially, I think they're asking the split between, it's a weirdly confused if you can shed some light.
There'll be, I think I mentioned there'll be around 54 questions, but then this split is not something that I can readily talk about. So in total, there'll be around 54 questions. It will be a very balanced paper. So equal weightage is given to both these sections, and within the section also equal weightage will be given to both reading and writing.
Someone's asking, is the level of difficulty same for everyone as the exam questions progress? Like everybody taking the exam that day?
Yes or no, both, because this is going to be an adaptive test. So as you take a test, you will get the questions difficulty level will start increasing. But if you again cannot do a difficult question, you will come back to a lower, medium level question format also. But that doesn't mean that anybody who's only doing easy questions will be a top scorer, or anybody who's only doing a difficult question will be a top scorer, because the weightage is different for every question. So an easy level question will have a different weightage than a difficult level question also. But yes, it progresses. And as you do the questions, the difficulty level will be different. So if you're asking difficulty level for all people, yes, it will be different for everybody else, because everybody will get a different test form.
Someone's asking, can we change our answers, or are they selected permanently?
No, you can change the answers before submitting the test. So you can review the test, you can go back to your answers, change them, and then submit it finally. But once you submit it, then nothing can be done.
Someone's asking, I gave the SAT pilot on January 28th. I was informed that I'd have my scores in April. Can I know when exactly in April, start, mid, or end?
Okay, this will be around middle of April that you will get the scores for all the pilots that have been done in January.
Is it necessary to take digital SAT? Do we have an option to take it physically on paper as it was in previous years?
Unfortunately not. So SAT has gone digital, and that's the way forward. And we hope that there is no glitch and nothing, because you've done so much hard work into it and everything is being smooth. So yeah, no going back to paper and pencil. It's going to be digital only.
Perfect. In your personal opinion, what would you say is like an ideal SAT score for students applying to US universities? And is there a minimum SAT score that is what top universities are looking for?
Okay, what we have seen, there is no ideal score per se, but what we have seen university generally accepting is more than 1250. But yeah, 1400 plus gives you an ideal place for scholarships as well, is what we saw in the past.
And this we've already gone over, but just like reinstated, the exam fee will be in US dollars, right? And never in like Pakistani rupees.
103 US dollars, yes. So when you pay through your credit card, that difference will be implied, but yeah, to us, it will come as dollars. You can pay from the card.
Is there an online tutorial anywhere for the Desmos calculator, as it's quite difficult to navigate?
Online tutorial for the graphing calculator that would be used. Okay,
yeah.
So once you go through the app, you will get into a practice of using it. And I think there would be certain videos also available. And if you can go through the College Board website, or I will send Zan later certain video links to that. But once you start using it, I'm sure you'll find it very easy to use.
And this person has joined the session late, so they're just asking, the reading and writing section is related to English and not to logical reasoning or IQ assessing things.
Yes, it's related to English. Yeah, correct.
Someone's asking, would there be any free resources for where they can go and like do like a little bit of the SAT math portion and see what sort of questions there are? Any free online College Board resources that they could utilize?
Oh, absolutely. So like I mentioned in the session, College Board will have 4 full-length practice tests, and College Board site also has many item-wise tests. So sample questions are there that you can refer to. Even besides College Board, the Khan Academy. So both are free of cost resources for you. Khan Academy has lots and lots of resources available in terms of videos, articles, questions, sample question papers. But for the digital experience, for the exact replica of what you will get as a digital test, you should always go back to 4 sample papers that are available on the College Board website. So yeah, there are immense resources for you to practice upon.
Okay. Another question we have is, someone's asking that once you take the test, we can send up to 4 free reports before the result comes out. So apart from the 4 free reports, is there any other way that they can send more than 4 reports? without paying the extra fee?
Sure. So 4 reports are given free of cost because we understand that any good university you would want to also has their application fees along with. So you would want maximum to select 3 or 4 universities, but we would be happy to send scores to more universities. There is a small charge on that. So when you request for a 5th report, they will tell you what is the charge and how much do you need to pay. But with a nominal charge, you can request for a 5th report as well.
Yeah, I guess the student just wants to know, sometimes there are waivers. Are there any waivers on College Board's end to send more than 4 reports, or not at the moment?
Not directly. If there are, you can ask for a waiver, and in case there is anything which is at that, because these rules keep changing from time to time. So if there is anything, then you will get to know via email. So customer support service is the best team to support you in all these questions. And whenever you have any such questions, please feel free to write an email to them or call them. I think email will be the best, depending on the time zone that we are in, and they will reply to you in case there is a fee waiver or not to it.
Someone's asking,
I would like to add, because Zen, I would like to add a point of CSS profile, because I didn't pick it up, but because people are asking about scores and scholarship also, somebody asked. So in case you feel that a university is asking you to fill up a form on CSS profile, please do that. From 2023, there are also certain waivers that College Board has given to universities. So universities can pass those on to the students in case they want the students to fill up a CSS profile on the College Board website. CSS profile is an application that helps the universities to understand your financial position. And in case they want to grant a scholarship to you, the CSS profile has all the relevant questions. So they'll ask you about, the income tax related questions, your assets, parental income, everything. And everything should be absolutely transparent from your side. Please do not hide anything. Please do not give any wrong information, because in case anybody finds out, it will totally go against your scholarships. So, but that's one area also where there are waivers available from 2023, and a university can give you a waiver in case you want to for CSS profile. Yeah. Zan, please carry on.
I think this person's also joined late. Is there a specific syllabus for SAT, or is it generally a culmination of what they've studied out throughout their school?
Yeah, so there's no specific syllabus. It is absolutely whatever you've done in your school from your grade 8 onwards, grade 8, 9, 10. Is what comes essentially in the SAT test. So the more you concentrate in your school is what it will help you in the SAT exam as well. But for practice, you can refer to various resources that are available.
We're just going to do one last question, and it is it possible to get registration fee waiver for someone who cannot afford SAT at College Board's end?
Not as of now. There are funds available with the American Embassy, but I don't know, Zed. I'll speak to you offline about it in case that can be passed on to any student. But as of now, to my information, we do not have anything like that for general public in Pakistan.
Okay, so just one last question. I know we've already gotten through it, but I think people just joined at the tail end.
No problem.
Can they still give the physical SAT rather than opting for the digital?
This is also a physical one, but yeah, physical in the sense that you have to take your device to the test center, but then there is no paper and pencil test. There is only a digital test. So as a reminder, I'll reiterate that again, you have to take your own device, which is a laptop or an iPad or a tablet or any Chromebook managed device to the test center, and you will get the Wi-Fi instructions and you can start taking the test on the Bluebook app. So no more physical paper and pencil is if that's what you're asking. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they wanted to know. Okay, so now I'm going to conclude the session today. Firstly, I just want to thank Minakshi for taking time out today and doing this informative session. I hope this was helpful for everybody, and I hope Minakshi also had a good time talking to all our students. If anyone has any questions about today's session and about U.S. higher education in general, please feel free to reach out to your Education USA advisor. If you have not already, please register for our free advising services by visiting our website, educationusa.pk. Also, don't forget to keep following us at EdUSA Pakistan on all social media pages to stay up to date on all our events. and happenings, and the USCFB social media pages for information on fully funded programs. And that's it for today. I'm going to conclude this session. So
Thank you. Thank you, Zen, and thank you everybody for coming into the session and listening to me very patiently. And for all of you who are writing the test soon, good luck to everybody. Stay safe. Bye-bye.